Hello dear ladies, I'm back from Kenya and I'm extremely excited about sharing with you all the amazing things that God has done in this beautiful country through us and within us while we were there. First of all, I want to thank all of you for your faithful prayers for us. And I truly believe that this particular trip was so amazing because of your faithful prayers. We had such spectacular faithful prayer support as we never had before. So huge thank you. So this trip was extremely special because everything went just perfect. Everything that we had in our hearts to minister in and deliver our messages, everything went amazing. So I had an absolutely fabulous women's conference. And why it was so remarkable, one thing, first of all, is because we expected 200 women to show up for the conference, and we had 450 women show up to the conference. So you see that the hunger was absolutely overwhelming. And some women even came to the conference a day ahead and spend the night in the church so they can be, participate in the conference in the morning. And the messages that I have prepared on the role of women and on the sexual intimacy within marriage and on the call of women in the home, they were so well received. And I believe the main reason why is, first of all, because there's a great hunger for those messages. And the second reason is because those women, they have never heard anything like this before. Because they're not spoiled per se like we are in our culture by TV messages and YouTube messages. This was just virgin territory that I was delivering my messages to. So also after the messages, the ladies were coming to me and sharing their testimonies, how they started applying those messages right away in their lives and how their lives started instantly changing, which was incredibly encouraging. My husband Kevin and other guys who shared at the men's conference also had a spectacular time. My husband in particular also shared about physical intimacy in marriage and about romancing your wife specifically and loving your wife and treating her with all honor and respect. And that message was also received really well. And once again, I believe it's because those men, they have never been ministered in that way before. They have never heard those messages before. So this was extremely needed. And also my husband had some men come up to him and share how their lives instantly started being changed for good by those messages, and their marriages started being improved. So that was also extremely encouraging. Another ministry that I was extremely excited about engaging myself and just pouring myself into was the ministry to the younger ladies at the orphanage school. So what I did, I shared several messages specifically on physical purity before marriage and on preparation for marriage. So that went amazing also. At first I could tell that I needed some time to break the ice, so to say, and to make the contact with the ladies. But I could tell that with each word I was sharing, the ice was melting, I was making the contact, and the message was very well received. I also shared a message on modesty and how to conduct yourself with modesty, and especially when it comes to your clothing and in the relationship with the opposite sex. So that went absolutely fabulous. Also, we did an extensive ministry on the streets when it comes to street preaching, gave out thousands of tracts. And another huge ministry that we did was giving out Christianized shirts, t-shirts that my husband Kevin printed in our garage. So we gave out hundreds and hundreds t-shirts to the orphans in the orphanage that we worked in and on the streets. Everybody just absolutely loved them. And so what happens when a person wears a Christian t-shirt, that person becomes a living billboard for the Lord. So we would just drive by sometimes and we would see people wearing our t-shirts walking down the street, which was really encouraging to us. So now hundreds and hundreds of those people that received those t-shirts are testifying, you know, about the Lord even after we left. So that's very, very encouraging. Another incredible ministry that we did was ministering in the slums. So what we did, we went to this, one of the most, or actually the most poor region in Kenya. This is the largest slums area near Kisumu, where we stayed, and ministered to the poorest of the poor. So what we did, we gave out tracts, we prayed for people, we invited them to church in our weekly conferences and nightly evangelistic crusades. And there was another incredible opportunity to, I should say, rescue some of those children who do not go to school but live in the slums in that poorest of the poorest areas. And we could sponsor those children, and thanks to our sponsorship, they're now in the school, in the Christian school, and you know, now they can get education and receive one meal a day and be fed, which before, I don't even, it's just even incomprehensible how they even survived. I couldn't even explain. It was just by the grace of God that they were alive, actually. So that was another incredible ministry that we did. And in general, the poverty level in Kenya is almost surreal, you know, and when you visit slums or the poorest areas, it's you cannot wrap your brain around it. I mean, the worst you can imagine, it's millions of times worse than you can imagine. I mean, that's how poor the people in Kenya are, especially in some slum areas. So that was really heartbreaking to see, really a huge eye-opener for all of us on our team, just to realize that the needs are limitless. Also, as I already mentioned, for 3 consequent days we did evangelistic open-air crusades. And the response was incredible. We had, the first day we had 20 people come and receive the Lord. The second day was 25, and the third day it was also about 20 people. So that was very, very encouraging for us to see. And the greatest part about this was that those people were so hungry to be fed spiritually that they came in the morning the next day. We had follow-up sessions with them to give them Bibles, to give them Christianized shirts, to feed them. And they all came, one by one, they all came to be fed spiritually. And so that, I believe that was a sign of true conversion, that they didn't fall away. It was not just an emotional thing when they came out to receive the Lord and to be prayed for, that they really, really hungered for the Lord. So that was extremely encouraging for us to see. So the greatest highlights, I would say, were the testimonies of people whose life was being changed right in front of our eyes, whether it's through salvations, whether it's through women's conference, men's conference, evangelistic outreaches, people on the street, people in the cafes that we met and ministered to. It was just such a rich ministry, and to the point of being overwhelming, because, you know, I couldn't even sleep at night because your heart is just so enlarged to the point of bursting with this desire and opportunities to minister. You look to the right, there are millions of opportunities. You look to the left, there are millions of opportunities. So obviously I can go on and on, but all in all, I might say that thanks to your faithful prayers, everything went just absolutely spectacular. And maybe some of you are wondering about my interesting hair. Actually, I desire to have a really authentic African experience since a lot of African women braid their hair just in this manner, this exact manner. And the pastor's wife of the church that we minister with, she owns a hair salon. So her friend did my hair. So it was definitely 100%, million percent an authentic African experience, because they use one comb for everybody. There are no different combs for different people, and nobody cleanses a comb in between of uses. And once a lady is using the comb on you to comb the hair, she puts it back in her own hair. That's what was holding the comb as she combed my hair. So it was really interesting. But I'm very glad that I did it, because that was just one of the ways that I desired to immerse myself into the African culture. So the saddest part about the trip was that unfortunately it came to an end. And you know, you at least me, I probably shouldn't speak for everybody, but I left this huge of a piece of my heart in Africa. And the main reason is because you feel so needed and so wanted and so loved and so embraced there like nowhere else on earth. You feel that this is the place where, at least I felt that this is a place where I can open up to the maximum of my potential and just pour out myself fully. You know, and I'm obviously crashing a little bit physically right now. I know I just kind of perked myself with some makeup, but I'm still jet lagging a little bit. But it was just giving myself to the maximum capacity, and that's, I guess, that's what I loved the most about this trip, is just seeing the fruit being used mightily of God. And all our members on our team, they absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved this trip. And if you would like to know more about our trip, if you would like to read more articles about it, see some pictures, please go to aminiyesu.org website, aminiyesu.org website, and you will find tons and tons of information about our trip, so you can kind of get the details and see the pictures. Okay, God bless, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. God bless. Bye-bye.